Today, our daily life consumes a huge amount of energy. We have heard about energy from nuclear, thermal, solar, or hydel sources. But there is something else which is abundantly available all across the world: natural gas. Natural gas is abundant, cleaner burning, and affordable. It is a resource that can reinvigorate the economy and help meet our energy needs for generations. Recovering shale resources has now become possible and economically cheaper for both producers and consumers due to the process of combining horizontal drilling with hydraulic fracturing. This technological advancement means that fewer wells are needed for production, thereby substantially reducing our environmental footprint compared to the traditional techniques. This technique allows us to go deep underground, and with responsible construction of wells and operations, extracting natural gas has now become safe and effective. At first, a thorough geological study is done of the subsurface. Based on the results of the study and the topography, engineers select and construct a drill site. Then, a hole is drilled and a steel conductor casing is set. This ensures the stability of the ground at the top of the well. In the first stage of the drilling process, a mixture typically of fresh water and heated clay called drilling mud is pumped in. This cools the drill bit, removes cutting, maintains proper pressure, and creates a boundary between the well and the rock formations. Based on local geology, the government regulates the depth below the level of usable water till which drilling can be done. The drilling continues till that depth. The drill by is then removed and more steel casing is inserted into the conductor casing. Cement is pumped into the casing, out the bottom, and back up to the surface, thereby creating a sealed cement reinforced container. This surface casing also serves as the foundation for a key safety device, the blowout preventer. To ensure a sufficient seal, the casing is pressure tested. Then, drilling resumes down to the kickoff point, where a specialized drilling motor is attached, allowing us to drill the curved and horizontal sections of the well. Typically, at a depth of approximately 10,000 to 13,000 feet, we are thousands of feet below usable groundwater. The freshwater aquifers remain separated from the target formation due to the presence of multiple layers of impermeable rock. This prevents the upward migration of natural gas and fracturing fluids into groundwater zones. Once a target is reached, the drilling assembly is removed and an additional steel casing is inserted, or cement is bought into the casing, out the bottom, and back up to a depth specified by the regulators. This creates another cement-reinforced container for the collection of gas. With a perforating tool, holds a shut in the casing and into the shell at the desired locations. It is at this point that the hydraulic fracturing process, safely used for over 60 years, begins. To isolate the fracture zone, a plug is set inside the casing behind a perforated section, and the process is repeated multiple times. A fluid consisting of water, sand, and the small amount of chemicals is pressurized and injected into the well, which permeates the shell, thereby fracturing the rock. Many of the chemicals used in the hydraulic fracturing process are safe and found in common household items, and even in food products. Sand or ceramic particles called propping are carried by the fluid and deposited in the narrow gaps in the rock, propping open the fractures so that gas can flow into the well. The plugs are drilled out, allowing the gas and fluids to flow into the well bore where they can flow into the surface. The entire drilling and completion process generally takes only 2 to 3 months, compared to the 20 to 30-year productive life of the typical well. Once it reaches the surface, the gas is separated from the fluids. The remaining water is diverted into storage tanks and then transported for disposal in injection wells approved and regulated by the government. One huge advantage of the horizontal drilling process is that multiple wells can be drilled from the same site. This optimizes production while minimizing the number of wells, rods, and other infrastructure necessary to recover this valuable resource.